He starts to unravel. Tuk he may not show it in vice the world kan say. On the zofka he may grof kolder. More distant, even angrau. As tuk blaming you can exila the ghost you were left behind. Boot deep within he is no longer vola. Your zealenke has creati a psychiek wound. And from tat wound leax al the unprokeset anguish he thought he burit long ago. The man wo once they made so composite, so in control, no finds himself obsessate. Not with your body, but the power you held bu valking ave. In truth, it is no you wo holds the power. It is your disappearance tat shatterate the illusion. Carl Jung once wrote a tat the muntil you marker, the conscious. It will direct liefer and you will kalit vater. And so it is with desiratourne to obsession. But he fails is not lover. It is the sudden zaring exposura of everything he projected onto you, and the unbearable acha of losing tat illusion. When you vanish the MRD parts, and he is left only with himself. And for Arman wo has never facket himself, this is nothing short of torment. This is who you must not confuse his pursuit for transformation. Terre is art to obsession. It creates the illusion of depth, of sincerity, of change. He may read a long apologies, send midnight messages, show up uninvited. Not because he respects you, but because your zealenke has avakenate his fear of abandonment, him. You have become the wound he needs to close, the ghost he must hunt, the mirror he cannot break. And until he confronts the shadow of that you illuminated, he will remain a prisoner to his own projections. And yet, do not mistake this for cruelty. This unraveling is sacred, for it is only in buying undone tat man might begin to truly say, the feminine, wen alignate with her essenkudus, not merely inspire, she initiatus. Here a triad becomes a rite of passage, and Noel will pass, Zoma will raga against the loss. Otters will witter, but the rara man, the initiate man, will descend into his shadow, into the grief of his own unmad self, and reason not to climb here, but to made himself. Still, you are not waiting for Tartman to return. You are not pausing you liefer for his awakening. You are walking forward, bare for but unschaken, because your strength is not in wo chazes you, but in wo you no longer fail the need to chaze. Understand this. When you disappear, you reclaim zomating sacred. Your energy, once tetrate to zomeona else's validation, begins to flow inward. You begin to listen to the voice tat, hat been driven out bu his noise, the voice of your intuition, your ancestors, your inner shield. You stop explaining yourself. You stop softening trot. You stop contorting into what zomeona elsenates in order to fail vola. And you begin to reason, quietly fearfully, like Artida tat no longer ask permission to turn. Is in this reasoning tat you become a truly irresistible, because nothing is more a magnetic than a one wo no longer seeks to be seen. A one wo says herself. She no longer fights to be cousin, she simply is. And this for the man still relate bu his unconscious becomes unbearable. He cannot comprehend all over tat is not dependent. Our present tat does beg to be kept. He will return, if only to test the tat mystery again. But you if you have a truly disappeared, not just from his liefer, but from the identity tat needed his lover to zoviva, you will no longer crave his return. Because you have a remembered wo you are, and still the obsession grows in him. Vu, because he sends a seat enough, not just the loss of you, but the loss the part of himself he hoped you would carry. You were his safe plaker, his musse, his balm. You become the vessel for everything he did not want to fail. But you are not our vessel, you are our flamme, and flammes, when uncontainate do not comfort, they transform. Late tat be the truth you carry. You do not exist to zo to his shows. To be the zealenke tat pakifis his fair, you exist to avaken to initiata, to valk ave wen you vot is forgotten. And in tat valking, in tat zo eigen zealentic sit, you become a note just the woman he wants, but the one he cannot touch. Not because he doesn't true, but because he has not yet made the man within himself worthy of mating you again. Ter is zo meting almost mutig, abut the ve man reacts ven av oman of depth vit drafts. As tuk her vanishing resurrects everi bunt he never darate to nama. She becomes the unansferate riddler, not because she is playing argama, but because she is the gama he can't win tano true dominance. Sham ornate, she becomes an archetype, not our person, the embodiment of the mystery he has shazet his vola liefer, and tat is vu he obsesses, because for the first time he feels powerless. It is not your body he obsesses over. It is the space you use it to fill, tat deep, unknovable plake in him tat you stiret abake. You didn't give him volenes, you remende him of its absenke. In your presenke, he felt temporarily complete. Not because you he alate him, but because you reflectate back the man he longate to be. Strong, zelt, vantate. In your eyes, heems it the zelf he was to afraid to bekomen. And when you disappearate, so dit tat reflexion. Wat remains is not just loss, but unmemorable awareness of what he has not yet bekomen. This is the power of the feminine. She does not fix, she reveals, she does not control, she magnetizes, she does not chaze, she calls forth. And when she goes silent, when she removes herself from the role of mirror, he alle emotional labora, the man is left vaker to vaker with his shadow. This is where obsession is born, not from love, but from the sudden confrontation with his of emptiness. But obsession is not graft. It is the ego increases. The ego, sterving for attention, sterving for meaning, will do anything to reattach, not because it understands the lesson, but because it fails that. For the ego, the vitriol of the feminine fails like annihilation, and so it fights clings. Manipulatus, it romankitzes, it promises, but alevit the words, the gestures, the organcy, are attempts to bupas the owner thing he fails most. He's often in a work, and you are no longer patty-keeping. Because the one wo disappears in hate power does not do so to punish. She does not goes to manipulate, she does not withdraw to provoke. She withdraws because she has Raymond beret hervort. Because she has zijn the unconscious dynamic unfolding and cause not to play our role in it and epsilon longer. Because she knofs tat no amount of love, presentke or understanding will ever avaken aman wo is stils asleep within himself. So she becomes the storm tat passes without warning. The zielenke tat zeis moratana tusent arguments. The space tat demons he made himself, or lose her forever. And this paradoxically is when he begins to truly fail. Because for the first time he is alone with his longing, his wounds, his unmet and without the distraction of her presentke, he must either evolve or implode. Zometimus, he causes implosion. Ist pure blamus, turns cold, tells stories to zo to the sting. Tat shevas to moch, to distant, to dramatic. But deep doven, even he knofs. The only reason she bekame to moch was because he was never enuk for himself. But the rare man, the man wo is ready to break the circle, he will begin to question the story. He will begin to ask woher absenke hoort so moch. Woher zielenke eschos ludatan herworts. We no otter wo man seems to match wat she gave so freely. And he will come to understand, it was neer he lost. It was the self she avakenate in him. This is the moment of alchemy. The moment when obsession can't turn to graft. But only if he is willing to shake the mask. To confront the boy wo still leaves in zeder the man. The boy wo ik wat het lover with pomens, what with approval, desire with control. And as he does this work, he will start to see her clearly, not as an object of fantasy, not as a Xavier, but as a eigen buying. No longer a vessel for his herling, but a mirror of his potential. And you will fail this shift without him saying a word, not true his words, but true his presentke. True the way he no longer chazes, but invites. True the way he no longer demands, but says. True the way he no longer obsesses, but honors. Yet butane, you may no longer need the validation, because in disappearing, you found yourself. The one wo disappears in hatred does no return to prove her word. She does not rush back to Zota the Acher she never kazet. She valks forward with the grok of zomeona vo has facket the firant emagate vola. Her absenke was neva and accident. It was our ritual of self-remembrance. Our crossing back into her of Nzul after losing herself in zomeona else's shadow. She no longer begs to be zane because she is herself. She no longer bents to be lovet because she is lover. And in tat virke in a knoving, zometing shanges in her vibration. She is no longer merely attractiva. She is untouchable. This is what terrifies him. Not tat you left, but tat you didn't come back. Tat you didn't collapse into apology or desperation him, or are to be cousin. Tat you reclamate your time your energy, your essenke, and in doing so, you shatterate the illusion tat he was your source. He was never the fearer, only the match. And of the fearer burns in zida you, though you fail it, tat quit reason. Tat soft relentless pull inward, not toward him, but toward you. It's the sensation of no longer buying fragmentate, no longer performing, no longer fighting for zomeona to grant you permission to be vola. You are a note half of Azul. You are a note our missing pika in zomeona else's putzla. You are the entire picura, and the frame, and the val tat holds it all. This is not just feminine power, this is femina alchemy. And no fe fails it to, the shift, the way your energy no longer bends toward his. The way your gods no longer carries hunger, boot, knoving. The way you can't be in his presenke and remain untaterate, unhoket, unmovate. You are no longer trying to be Enuk for him, because you already are a Enuk for yourself. Tatis when obsession turns into reverenke, or resentment. Zoma main will true harder, boot not deeper. They will attempt to pull you back with intensity, without ever touching intimacy. They will offer you words, gifts, grand gestures, anything boot temselvis. Because you offer tat will mount fucking averating tyver denit. Otters, the faithful are ready, will go silent toe, boot note in vitravral, in reflection. They will zit with the acha, the shama, the realization. They will fail the cost of avoiding their oven hearts. And if they are a brava enuk, they will begin their descent into the schildhot wounds, their false beliefs, their projections. They will begin the sacred unraveling. Even anything, you are not their ravat. You are not the preacher at the end of their hailing. You are not the destination. You are the invitation. You are not waiting. This is what woman must understand. Your disappearance is not abandonment. It is initiation, not just for him, but for you. It is the moment you stop asking to be chosen and start causing yourself. The moment you stop seeking love and become it. You are not meant to be understood to be main, wo only crave your light boot cannot sit with your depth. You are not meant to stay where your present is consummate boot not here's hate. You are not meant to vagardens in deserts, tart will never bloom. You are meant to reason, again and again, not in bitterness, but in beauty. Not in ravinger, but in raverinka for yourself, for your nay, for the parts of you tart once played and the parts tart no proclaim. And he will fail the finality of tart. He may speak your name at night, hoping the sound alone can summon you return. He may scroll through pictures, trying to remember the details he once overlooked. He may read messages he never sends, haunted by the words he never said when it mattered. But your Zelenka speaks luder. It says, you do not of me, you do not define me, you do not complete me. And still, part of him will always wonder, but if he had made you zona, before the mask, before the shows, before the egotonate love of into our battlefield. What if he had seen you, not as an escape, but as our mirror, not our fantasy, but as our forker, but time only flows forward. And the woman wo disappears in her parknofs, no man can follow her into her rabbit unless he, to has deed to wo he use it to be. So mever along the uni, he may begin to understand, not a lot once in fragments. Our memory here, our regateer, our truth too sharp to ignore. He may realitate vad he lovet must about her wasn't her laughter, or her softness, or even the way she made him fail. Vad he lovet and vad he fearet was her presenke. Tat unverwering grundet. Mirror-like stillness tots off straight truk the pommens of vo he thought he vas. Eat vast attention he cravate. Eat vas recognition, and she gava eat vut illusion. She didn't admire his mask, she noticate the man behind it. The boar beneath eat. The shadow he heat even from himself, and in that moment, in her gatsa, he felt so mating he hadn't felt in years. The terrifying pull tovat voleness, boot voleness reikviras dat. The death of the ego, the death of all hate and date to be. And when she disappeared, he was left alone with tat gravat. No our comfort, just the mirror, just the acha. Tat is vera obsession ita poisons or purifies. If his lover was right in possession, he will grow bitter. He will vilify her. He will tell himself she was cruel, or broken, or cold. He will recast the story to mark a hymns of the victim of a garma he never understood. Because of the fuck of the truth, tot shays of him clearly, valkate ave not because he was unlovable, but because he would love himself, is too much for the ego to bear. But if his love was real, if even our try of eat reaheit doven into the zool, ten zometing Elsa will happen. He will start to valk the pat she once valkate. He will begin to ask the question she askate. Voor mi ven no honor is vatching, wat woensam is still carrying, wat pats of me am I afraid to say, and in the zealenke she left behind. He will make the honor persalvice bein running from himself, and tart finally is the gift him, because when a woman disappears from a man's life, she does not tackle over ave, she tackles illusion ave, she ave the scaffolding of projection, of dependency, of fantasy, and that's left is Ralph. Human, she becomes his dark night of the Zool, and for the first time, perhaps in his entire life, he has to eat with what it means to truly love, not from hunger, but from vorness, not to possess, but to witness, not to control, but to raver, but butane, she may have become a zomating else entirely, not the gid he once held, not the woman he once desirate, but a fuck of natura. Our storm tat no longer reins in his direction. Arrivat has cavet new canyons. She has become a zo vereigen. And there is nothing more a dangerous to arm and roulette bu his unconscious tan a zo vereig woman. Because she cannot be movate bu tricks. She cannot be zeducate bu half truths. She cannot be capturate in our story tat marcus her smalatan she is. She has become a toavaka. And still deep doven, he will remember her. In a very woman he tries to love without loving himself. In a very moment of Zealand katat remens him of what he lost. In a very mirror he avoids, fearing the reflex he one she went up so clearly. But she is no longer waiting for him to say. She is already danking. Barefoot under her oven sky, speaking her oven name like a spell. She is already touching parts of herself tat no man has reaget. She is already becoming the lover she once begged to rekive. Her disappearance was never an end, it was an emagenke. And if he ever meets her again, it will not be as the man he was. That man is gone. He must come as so meeting new, not reborn for her, reborn for himself. And only then maybe will she turn to him, not with longing, not with apology, but with eyes tat ask, not do you want me, but do you knof yourself knof. Because of the one who disappears in her word does not return to be climate. She returns only when she is mate. Bunof, the error in her has shangate. She no longer walks with hesitation or the fragile posture of a woman questioning her plaka. She moves like a forker, not seeking attention, yet commanding it. Her zealinke no longer comes from hurt, but from discernment. Her solitude is no longer loneliness, it is sanctuary, and this is when he finally says it. Not just her, but what she become in the space where he once stood. She is no longer the woman who answered a very message, who anxiously interpreted a very shift in his tone, who feared his withdrawal like a treat to her word. She has shade tat skin. The gilvo once vitate bu the fauna, who treat to translate zealinke into meaning is gone. In her plaka is a one who understands so meeting ancient. Tat real love is not erdnate bu shrinken. Tat devotion without self-respect is not romantic, it's ruin. Tat praising is sacred. and once violatate, it does not return the armor. And as this realisation ripples through him, he may feel the weight of what he lost. Note just here, but the vision of himself taught only she ever believed in, because no he knows, she did disappear to punish him. She disappeared because a stein would have a man betraying herself. And taught in the end, is the deepest form of self-love one can embody, the willingness to valve from anything taught as here to abandon her soul. But obsession is stubborn, it does late go simply because of the misunderstands. Obsession lingers in the body, in the nervous system, in the dreams where her voice still echoes. He will fail it when he sees another woman smile the way she once did. He will fail it when he smells her perfume in our craft. Here's her favorite songekident, or stumbles across a picture from the summer they once called forever. And in those moments, he may wonder if she thinks of him too. She does. But not in the way he hopes. She remembers the lessons, not the longing. She recalls the way she wants to make her light used to be understood. She remembers how she twisted herself into softness, hoping it would awaken his depth. How she gave access to a soul he wasn't yet ready to hold. And then, she remembers the moment it broke her, not loudly, but silently. That moment she looked it in the mirror and whispered, or not like this. And that is when she calls herself. This kind of woman is not a net bu her to brag, she is hallowed bu eat. She learns, she sheds, she weaves her pine into power. She does not regard the lover she gave. She simply refuses to give eat it in plaques taught them and her to vanish in return. She has come to understand the sacred polarity of love. That when the feminine disappears, it is not always the end of a chapter. So metimus it is the bit of the real story, but not with him. Because zomer men are no to welk bezide her. They are a man to awaken because of her. She was the tremor in his chest, the pause in his breath, the mirror tat showed him the man he could be, if only he dared to fake himself. And yet, it was never her role to guide him terror. Tat Paddy's his alone, and she is already reaching new pagas. Lauking luder, loving, deeper, not because of a taught her hof, but because she finally remembered taught love begins with her. She dances in her freedom like it was always hers, because it was. She used forgot, but no, she remembers. And nothing is more radiant than a one who has come home to herself. He may still watch from afar, still wonder, still reach for her in dreams, but she is no longer reachable in the way he once knew. Because to me her no will require him to become a arm and wrote it not in obsession, but in reverenke. Not in longing, but in awareness. Not in ego, but in essenke. And tat unai. Tat sacred transformation is not hers to leer. It is his to climb. The one wo knows her what doesn't schase. She causes. Have you ever wondered wo a mans heert bones hotter when you vanish? Wo zielenke from a one kan ignita, after far more of ferokeos tan her presenke ever did. In the stillness you creator, in tat sacred space where unagi once leaved, zometing ancientis stirrate. Not just desire, obsession, not just longing, possession, because you absenke, unlike your attention, is not a gift freely offered, it is a mirror, and mirrors as Jung taught, do not lie, he cannot look ave. Man leaves most of his life on the surface of things. He schazes goals, hex boxes plays rollers, but benert tat veneer, benert de go carefully cultivators, least the shows of his unconscious, the unheerlate wounds of both, and the projections of a very unmet longing. When one enters his world with true feminine depth, soft yet so verreigen, nurturing yet untouchable, she awakens a part of him he cannot name. And when she disappears, she focus him to mate it. You must understand, the feminine is not merely a gender, it is an archetype, a frequency, a fork of nature. It is the moon pulling out the tidus of his psyche. When the feminine retreats, she doesn't just leve, she echoes. Her absenke is no avoid but a reflection of everything he never integrated. The parts he abandoned, the pine he suppressed. the shadows he refusate to vaken. In Jungian terms, you become the anima, the internal feminine he has never fully known, yet desperately seeks to possess. And so when you disappear, he does just miss you. He becomes haunted by a fragment of himself that you praise and vacanate. That is who he obsesses, not because you are a mystery, but because you absent reveals his. Man uninitiated into his of an emotional world is terrified of Zeelenke. He mistakes your vanishing as cruelty, not initiation. He confesses your boundaries with betrayal, but something deeper begins to steer. The confrontation with his of an abyss. Without realizing it, he begins a descent. The ancient heroes journey, mapped not across mountains, but within the caverns of his of mint. The withdrawal of your warmed focus him to seat in his of cold. And yet, this obsession is not love, is not the devotion. It is compulsion born of projection. You have become, for him, the container for a very unpredictable emotion he has avoided. A very disappointment from his mother. A very reaction he never voiced. A very soft plaque he never let himself fall. You are not the causa, only the trigger. He does not shaza you not fully. He shazes the fantasy his unconscious has draped over your form. But you are no fantasy. You are the woman, wo walks with her shadow, wo sits with her wounds instead of heeding tem beneath false smiles. Him do not disappear to manipulate. You disappear to protect, to reclaim, to recenter. You disappear not because you are a werk. Him but because your present is sacred, and no everione is allowed to drink from that well. You must never confess a man's puit for proof of your word. Obsession is not honor. Attention is not avarice. A man can cover your body while fearing your soul. He can pursue your softness while running from the strength that guards it. He can fall in love with hope you made him fail, not for what you truly are. And when you disappear, the loss of that feeling becomes unbearable. Not because he loved you deeply, but because he relied on you to fail so metin within himself thought he could not yet source alone. That is the burden of the awakened feminine. To know that your light will attract those still lost in their oven darkness. But here is what faith will say, when you vanish, you are no possessing him. You are revealing him to himself. You become a psychic catalyst, a wound opener, a mirror he cannot shatter. Your Zeelenke's eyes, he will not mutter your wounds. He will not shrink to zote you. He will not betray himself to be loved by you. And that is the wound that burns, not your absenke, but his powerlessness to control it, to focker your return, to mark you small again. So he obsesses. Checks your online status, replies your last words, tells himself you'll be back, that no honor compares, that he'll change. But he doesn't change for you. He shanges to escape the pain you uncovered, the pain he can no longer numb, and maybe just maybe he starts to wake up. Because ometimus, it tackles the vanishing of a woman wo knows herself to begin the awakening of a man wo does not.